Hey everybody. Brian, you were the first person in chat. Here's a great Pizzamas shirt available now at pizzamas.com. You might be wondering why I'm a little bit backlit. What? Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's exactly right. It's because there's a sweet neon Pizza John sign available at pizzamas.com right now. What else we have? How about this terracotta planter that looks just like me? That it looks just like me. I don't know. But it looks here, if you take the glasses off, it looks a little more like me weirdly. And then it's got a hole in its head that you can use to plant chia seeds that come with it or to plant anything else. Melanie says, "Hi, I ordered that one. What a great decision, Melanie. You won't regret it. I mean, you'll grow a basil plant out of my head. It's beautiful. And it's all at pizzamas.com right now. Pizzamas.com. Your home for pizza stuff only for the next 12 days. I don't have a favorite Pizza John shirt this year, but I think this one is very high up on the list. Henry, with another one. Henry, show off yours. That actually fits you pretty well considering that it's a large, but I guess you're just gigantic now. Look at that shirt available at pizzamas.com. Here, let's get it. Let's get that full. Let's get the full. Look at that. Show it off, Henry. Do a spin. There you go. Now people will be like, "Wow, that is worth getting. You can spin it." All right, make your sister go do the same thing. Okay. We gotta make money for tuberculosis research. Everybody says hi. Okay. He says okay. Yeah. Yeah. Are you telling your friends? No. Are you sure? Yeah. Because it looked like you were going to text. YouTube.com/vlogbrothers. I'm not afraid to have a couple extra viewers. I know, I'm not. It's okay if you are. YouTube.com/vlogbrothers. Pizzamas.com. pizzamas.com. All right, go tell your sister. Pizzamas.com, everybody. Pizzamas.com. That's where you go to get your Pizzamas gear. Only available during Pizzamas. Look at this. Look at that. It's phenomenal. It's just absolutely phenomenal. You know, who doesn't want that in their home? Those are actually going to sell out, so I shouldn't sell them more. I should sell these sweet terracotta planters. You really got to work on the glasses. It's easy to get the glasses crooked, just like it is in real life. But here. It's incredible. But look, it's got a hole in its head, so you can plant anything in there. I think I'm going to do like a basil plant or a mint plant so that I can force Sarah to look at my the statue of myself as a terracotta planter all throughout the year. Yeah. Untapped Inkwell points out that there should be no screenshots. Alice, there's a Taylor Swift shirt if you want to wear that one. Yeah, in the basement. You'll know which one it is. I don't think I could quite plant a tree in it. The maybe a bonsai. I don't know how that works, but I feel like the root bed for a basil plant would work, but like not a pepper plant or a tomato plant. You can look like you could put a candle on it, so it looks like you have a great idea. Hey, all of this is doable at pizzamas.com, y'all. Just came from book club where we discussed the Anthropocene Reviewed. Stop everything, Ashley. What did y'all think of it? Tell me the truth, but also be nice. Like tell me the truth, but tell me the truth in a gentle way. But thank you for reading the Anthropocene Reviewed in your book club. Seriously, I appreciate that. Do you think it would work for a fish tank decoration? I mean, look, I'm not an expert. I don't want to kill your fish, Pastamania, but yes, I think it would work for a fish tank decoration. My school just got TB. No, somebody in your school got TB. You're fine, Simon. A third of all humans are infected with TB, so you're okay. It's just that you have to get tested, and maybe you've been exposed. And if you've been exposed, you just get some antibiotics. You never get TB. You'll be all right. Hopefully, as long as you can access antibiotics. Right now in India, there's a huge stock out of antibiotics. It's a real crisis, but hopefully you'll be okay. Yeah, it's a dire situation in India at the moment. Alice, come on. Are you going to show it off on live stream or no? Sure. All right, we've got another model coming in. That actually looks really good on you too. Oh my gosh, you're doing a full walk. What is that called? A runway walk.
Yeah.
You have a good runway walk. You really look at that. Look at that. Nice spin. Let's see the full thing. What does it remind you of?
Taylor Swift.
And are you a fan of Taylor Swift?
Yes.
Do you want this? Do you want me to buy you this shirt in a slightly smaller size?
Yes.
You do?
Mhm.
Okay. It's got me as with a mustache. I have a mustache in every single picture. Like that's me from high school, but I still have a mustache. That's me as a kid when I was your age, but I still have a mustache. That's the joke. Do you get the joke?
Mhm.
It's like I always have a mustache.
Yeah.
But it's all my eras. There was my Pizza John era. There's my pizza era. There's my little kid era when I liked pizza. It's all my major eras. What do you think my major eras are, pre-dad and post-dad?
I don't know.
Yeah. Are you doing good?
Mhm.
I hope we sell a lot of these at pizzamas.com right now.
Mhm.
Good job. Everybody's saying hi.
Hey.
Oh, she's so cute. Audrey says, be right back buying that. Good job, Alice. You sold a t-shirt to Audrey. She says, thank you. Yeah. So anyway, it's good to see y'all. I'm doing a live show every day during Pizzamas, but some of them are Henry's here, like in the chat. Are you in the chat?
No.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Somebody said Henry is here.
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No.
Because you don't have a YouTube channel.
Nope.
Do you?
No.
Do you have a login?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You don't have a channel?
No.
You don't have a secret channel?
No.
Okay. You can comment if you want.
I know.
Oh, Henry Ryder is here. Say hi.
Hi.
Hey, Henry. I thought you meant Henry, my son, who's right here. But no, it's Henry Ryder. Henry Ryder, hi, hi, hi. Everybody who isn't subscribed to Henry Ryder should go subscribe to him. Hey, Henry Ryder. It's good to see you. Good to see you. The Henry Ryder from Sierra Leone. Yeah. So pizzamas.com is Henry says buy me one. I don't know if we can ship to Sierra Leone, Henry, but maybe we can. It's hard, as you know, it's really hard to get mail there. That's why we keep having to go through Dr. Barry. But we'll work something out. I'll bring you some sweet Pizzamas stuff next time. Yeah. Everybody says hi to both Henrys. How are you doing?
Good.
Where do you go to get that shirt?
Pizzamas.com.
What happens to all the money?
Goes to Partners in Health.
Yeah, but actually it goes to independent, like the artist who designed that gets a cut, and then the rest of it goes to Partners in Health. Our money goes to Partners in Health. All right, so that's the deal, right? Please turn on Super Chat. Wildflower, I would love to turn on Super Chats. I literally don't know how to. Does anyone know why I can't turn on Super Chats? Do you think I got in trouble with YouTube? Did I get in trouble with the law?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I can't turn on Super Chats. I don't know what the issue is. I looked for Super Chats everywhere while I was setting up the live stream. Kind of people say you look like me, but I don't know.
People say I look more like Uncle Hank.
No, you look like Dada. Oh, you're just a tiny little baby. You were just born.
Okay.
Okay. All right, that's enough. It's just the glasses, somebody said. Well, we do have glasses in common. Here, are we switching?
Yeah.
All right. Well, your vision is much better than mine.
Yeah, I can tell.
But your glasses are dirty. Jesus. It's got scratches?
Yeah.
What happened?
A lot.
You got to clean these up, brother.
I know.
All right. Without your glasses, they say you do look like Hank. All right, I'm going to read. And usually that means that you want to leave. But do you want to stay for my reading?
Nope.
I figured. All right. Pizzamas.com. Look at that. Look what you can get at pizzamas.com. Sweet. Amazing. Oh yeah, sorry. This is only available in the United States because it comes with chia seeds that you can put in here to grow my hair as chia seed hair, you know, like chia, like chia pudding or whatever. But you can use it as a planter for anything. You can use it for basil. You can use it for whatever you want. That's a cool shirt, John. I thank you. I know. It's only available for the next few days and only at pizzamas.com. Thanks for noticing. Yeah. Pizzamas is just the best. It's exhausting, but it's the best. I'm going to put this over here so that it doesn't. There, it's just sort of like lighting the left side of my face now. That's only a little weird. I got that. You got this shirt. It's your favorite design. I like all of the designs. I don't like to pick favorites, but I definitely like this one a lot. It's great. So yeah, thank you to everybody who's ordered from Pizzamas. Just an update on like how things are going. Great. It's the best Pizzamas ever. I moved it. You want to actually put it over there for me, so that it's kind of like its light is kind of coming toward me. Yeah, but up against. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you. So it's definitely on track to be the biggest Pizzamas ever. We are every day has been like Monday was the biggest day one we've ever had. Tuesday was the biggest day two we've ever had, etc. And today will be, let me look, almost certainly, yeah, it already is the biggest day we've ever had. The biggest day four we've ever had. So thanks to everybody I mean, I think it speaks to the quality of the merch, also to the quality of the team at DFTBA, who make everything happen every year. I just think like they did an amazing job this year. And when the merch is really good, that means more sales on a very basic level. So that's been good. John, please straighten your picture frame on the wall. It is straight. Look. See, compare it to the window. It's just that the angle is weird. This is a photo. This is a picture, not a photograph. It's a painting by a Caribbean artist who painted landscapes on reclaimed pieces of wood. He has since passed away, but yeah, it's a function of the angle, not a function of the picture. But I know that's annoying, and I feel bad. Alan says, "Should I get a chia, John?" Well, first off, we can't say that, Alan, because that's copyrighted. But should you get a terracotta planter, John? Yes, you should. Hard stop. Untapped Inkwell says only if your budget can handle it, which is a great point. Don't spend money you can't afford to spend on Pizzamas of all things. But don't spend money you can't afford to spend on anything other than necessities. I have a Knuff shirt, like that I'm Knuff. Does it grow a mustache? I think it might if you if you water the chia seeds, and chia seeds can kind of grow anywhere. So I think it might, but it would be a bit of a stretch. But I wish you luck with that. Yeah. The word chia is not copyrighted, but chia associated with terracotta planters is copyrighted. So we don't say that, right? Izzy says Pizzamas is a necessity to me, which is fine. But still make good choices. All right, y'all. I'm gonna read you a little bit about tuberculosis, I think. Just want to read the beginning of this thing, and then you can tell me what you think about it. I'll see all your comments later. I don't know if Henry's here anymore, but Henry's actually in this story, but he's not in this part. So Sarah is trying to get me to change the title. I'll just tell you the title. Like titles are always really hard for me. Like until very late in the process, The Fault in Our Stars had a bunch of different titles before I settled on The Fault in Our Stars. The same was true of Looking for Alaska. Paper Towns and An Abundance of Catherines kind of had titles early on, and Turtles All the Way Down kind of had an obvious title. This is not a story with an obvious title. So I don't know. We're going back and forth on what the title should be. The current title I have is Where the Cure Is Not, and the title that Sarah likes is Tuberculosis is About Everything and Everything is About Tuberculosis, which is not short, but it is a good title. Are you going to listen to me read for a little while?
Sure.
Great. This is the introduction. It's about my great uncle, whose name was Stokes Goodrich, and
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Stokes Goodrich.
Yeah.
Do you know what Stokes died of?
Wasn't it tuberculosis?
It was tuberculosis, and it's also about James Watt's son, Gregory. Around the turn of the 19th century, the Scottish tinkerer and chemist James Watt began working on a new project. Watt had already achieved fame and success for making steam engines more efficient, helping to fuel the Industrial Revolution that would radically reshape human history. The steam engine would lead to everything from air conditioning to air travel to antibiotics, while also unleashing trillions of tons of carbon into the atmosphere, reshaping the planet's climate. Watt's innovation carried within it so much power that we named a measurement of power after him. Watt made other important contributions to the human collection of tools and knowledge. He invented a machine that could copy sculptures and develop new strategies for manufacturing chlorine to bleach textiles, but he hoped his new project would be his most important yet. He was obsessed with finding some kind of chemical solution to treat the lung disease known to physicians as phthisis. Watt's daughter Jessie had died of phthisis at the age of 15 in 1794, and now his son Gregory was ill with the disease, suffering from the classic symptoms of a persistent cough, night sweats, fever, and the physical wasting of the body that gave the disease its colloquial name, consumption. In a furious attempt to save his child, Watt invented a method of delivering nitrous oxide to the lungs, believing that shifting the amount of oxygen available to the lungs might help them heal. But the work proved unsuccessful. Gregory died of consumption at the age of 27 in 1804 after years of suffering. We are powerful enough to light the world at night, to artificially refrigerate food, to leave our Earth's atmosphere and orbit it from outer space, but we cannot save those we love from suffering. This is the story of human history as I understand it, a story of an organism that could do so much, but could not do what it most wanted. By 1910, phthisis had come to be known by a new name, tuberculosis. My great uncle Stokes Goodrich was born that year in rural Franklin County, Tennessee. He was raised in a small home built by my great grandfather, a country doctor who rode his horse night and day around the county delivering babies and dispensing medicine. Stokes was a sickly child. In those days, and in these ones too, I suppose, it was common to connect illness to some kind of deficiency or failure or mistake in someone's past. A physician might conclude, as one 18th century German doctor did, that a woman's life-threatening illness was brought on by a dog which barked loudly at her. For my great-grandparents' baby Stokes, the inciting incident was him being given coffee and sweets by a family friend. Thereafter, Stokes developed the worst case of typhoid fever I ever saw recover. My great-grandfather later reported in a short memoir he wrote for family. In 1926, when Stokes was 16, he again nearly died of influenza when he became ill working at a factory. He recovered and then went to work for Alabama Power and Light as a lineman. As the 1920s progressed, Stokes experienced frequent bouts of what he hoped might be influenza or bronchitis, but the stubborn cough would not go away, and eventually, after coughing up blood, he sought medical attention. Here is how my great-grandfather reported what happened next. Stokes went to see a fine doctor in Gadsden, Alabama, who x-rayed him and discovered tuberculosis in the apex of his right lung. The x-ray technician who made the film told me, "Dr. Goodrich, your son has miliary tuberculosis, and I've never seen a case that lived over 2 months." Stokes was placed in a sanatorium in Asheville, North Carolina, one of many American cities that was founded as a kind of tuberculosis colony. Stokes had the best of care in the sanitarium, but steadily grew worse, my great-grandfather wrote, and on May 18th, 1930, passed over the river to his Lord. My great-uncle was 29 years old. I often wonder what it must have been like for my great-grandfather, having trained as a doctor, to be unable to save his own son from disease. Now, we are 2 centuries removed from the death of Jesse and Gregory Watts, and nearly a century removed from the death of my great-uncle Stokes. We have effective treatments for tuberculosis, and yet over 1.6 million people died of TB in 2022. That year, in fact, more people died of TB than died of malaria, typhoid, cholera, homicide, and war combined. Just in the last 2 centuries, tuberculosis has killed over 1 billion people. Around 6% of people born since 1800 have died of TB. And as COVID deaths began to recede in 2023, TB once again became the deadliest infectious disease in the world, a distinction that it has held for almost all of what we know of human history. In 2000, Dr. Peter Mugeni gave a speech about the rich world's refusal to expand access to drugs treating HIV/AIDS. Millions of people were dying each year of AIDS, even though safe and effective antiretroviral therapy could save most of their lives. Where are the drugs? The drugs are where the disease is not, Dr. Mugeni said. And where is the disease? The disease is where the drugs are not. And so it is with TB. This year, thousands of doctors will attend to millions of TB patients. And just as my great-grandfather could not save his son, these physicians will be unable to save their patients, not because there is no known way to survive miliary tuberculosis, but because we choose to live in a world where the cure is where the disease is not, and where the disease is where the cure is not. This is a story about that cure, why we didn't find it until the 1950s, and why in the 70 years after discovering the cure, we allowed over 150 million people to die of tuberculosis. I started writing about TB because I wanted to understand this failure. And along the way, I've learned not just about illness, but also about how we imagine illness and how that imagining shapes the world we end up sharing. My great-grandfather understood his son's illness to have been driven by ingesting coffee and sweets in childhood. James Watt understood the illness as a mechanical failure by the lungs to ingest the proper ratio of gases. Others would understand the disease as genetic, one that affected certain types of personalities. Still others would argue that the illness was caused by demon possession, or poisoned air, or God's judgment, or alcohol use. And each of these ways of understanding tuberculosis shaped the way people lived with the disease and died of it. The world we share is a product of all the worlds we used to share. And for me, at least, the history and present of tuberculosis reveal the folly and brilliance and cruelty and compassion of humans. My wife often jokes that in my mind, everything is about tuberculosis, and tuberculosis is about everything. She's right. What'd you think, Henry?
It was good.
Just good? It wasn't, was it a banger?
Sure.
Would you read it?
Maybe.
Would you?
If it was in an audiobook, yeah.
You'd, even if it was narrated by me?
Yeah.
Wow, that's high praise. You've never read any of my books.
No.
You have no interest in them,
Mhm.
but you have an interest in this one. Marginally.
Yeah.
Potentially. Okay.
Your books are sad.
This one isn't sad. This is a banger.
It's kind of sad.
You know, it's not that sad.
It's more sad than Uncle Hank's book.
It's more sad than Uncle Hank's books. That's true. Yeah. I mean, you don't know how sad my books are because you haven't read them, whereas you have read Uncle Hank's books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've read one of them.
Yeah. You should read the other. It's good. It's actually just as good. Maybe even better.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was my that was a little bit of a beginning for you.
What's this?
That's a terracotta planter. Thanks for asking, Henry. This is a terracotta planter available only during Pizzamas, only for the next, I'm going to cover your face, only for the next 9 days and only at pizzamas.com. Look, you can put soil in there and then grow a plant out of my head, or you can grow chia seeds out of my head and give me chia seed hair, pizzamas.com. Yeah, so yeah. All right. Lots of people talking about the title. I'll read all those comments about the title later, but feel free to leave your title preferences in comments. Okay. I am going to go now because I have to put these little monsters to bed. These tiny little newborn monsters that just came into the world 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
Still a swaddled little baby. I remember your green swaddling clothes. I'll leave it up as an unlisted video so you can watch it if you want to. Pizzamas.com. Pizzamas.com. You say it one time. That's what's really going to motivate people. Oh, Henry says, John Green, I want to know if someone has HIV, can the HIV upgrade to TB disease? And if so, what causes it? So great question, Henry, and I'll answer that before I leave. It doesn't exactly upgrade, but having untreated HIV makes it more likely that you'll get TB and makes TB harder to treat sometimes. So, especially if somebody has HIV that isn't well controlled, it hurts it can hurt your immune system, and that can ignite TB and make it more serious and make it kind of move faster. So we still see that to some extent. These days, most people who experience serious complications from TB or die of TB don't have HIV. But there are a lot of people who are co-infected who do get a lot of people who are infected with HIV who also get tuberculosis. And then especially if they get multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, it can be as you know, it can be very dangerous. But once you're cured, you're generally cured, if that makes sense. So the great thing about TB is that you don't have to keep taking medicine forever. You only have to, well, there's nothing great about TB. It sucks. I don't know why I said that. But once you've taken the medicine and cleared the infection out of your system, you're cured. So you don't have to keep taking medicine. Whereas like with HIV, you take medicine. It's a very controllable disease. You don't ever have to get sick or anything. But now for most people, but you still have to take medicine. So I think that's, at least as far as I understand it, the way that it works. All right. It's great to be with y'all. And I really appreciate your time and your Pizzamas celebrations. But yeah, TB is curable. And that's why we have to do a better job of curing it. We have to do a better job of getting the cure to the people who need it in the places that need it the most. Okay, Henry, look what that person is named. They're named Potato Cow. Potato's a good name. All right, good night,
Yeah, it
everybody.
is.
I know, we're going to put these kids to bed. DFTBA.